pick up the Shaker here on SMG's end. Again, something that could kind of play against the big clump up that Execration might be looking for. We have seen some Shaker pop back in. This should be our support Shaker coming through from Afu. They can still flex around, but it's likely that KP's offlane Bloodseeker Shaker support. So you've got the Blood-Right Fissure combination that can get control nicely. Execration dipping into the Rubik. They've got a lot of good spells to steal from the Pango all the way to up to the Shaker. A lot of utility coming through. Decent enough control with that as well. So you've got some good save as well with the lift back and the pullback with the Shard on allies. We'll see if that's something Execration will want to pull out. Of course, that is the BDC Rubik more than likely coming out, and that is one of his specials that we haven't seen in a long time. So it's kind of good to go back to this strong hero for himself, and we know that for Execration, it feels like a lot of what gets them going is that off lane. It's BDZ and it's Raging Potato. If they can pop off with their hero combination, they can just kind of take control from there.
Absolutely. I was joking, by the way. For anyone out there that is a mobile player, I was joking. Everyone calm down. I know I don't want to be the next Tim's, right? I remember Tim's got in a lot of trouble for talking crap about these games. I'm just joking. You play whatever you like. What I'm saying is Dota's just infinitely a better game. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not too complicated, right? Like everyone gets that. I'm sure everyone understands I was just making a joke. I could tell you were making you were trying very hard to change the subject on you. I could feel the fear in your heart there. So I know in the Philippines these mobile games are very big now, which would be due to the fact that the internet games are, well, the PC cafes aren't really open anymore. Well, not right now anyway. Yeah.
And apparently we're pretty damn good at these mobile games. So there's that. We're pretty damn good. We win that stuff, Mike.
Can you be bad?
So you can ask the people who didn't place first, I guess. Yeah, they'll tell you. Oh goodness me! Still, I gotta say, we've got to. I've got to point out why you're feeling so chipper. You went out, you did your part, right? This is great. You finally went out and got vaccinated. Great news. Everyone should get out and get it if they can. Of course, you were a bit. We were talking about the side effects yesterday. It was a long day. It was like 1 a.m. You wanted to have your ramen and go to bed. Now, 5G's kicked in. Like, you're energized. I can see you're connected to the network. You're connected with me, Mike. I've got my 5G as well. We're one now.
Yeah, it was weird, right? Because initially people told me with the first dose you don't get much pain, but then my arm where they injected it started to hurt. The antenna was coming out of the skin, and it just got really weird at some point. I suppose having an antenna coming in, I can't make the joke. I can't do it. Execration, final pickup now. It's just so stupid. I mean, the things I've been reading on the internet, it's just... Anyway, I feel much better. If you noticed last night, if you were here watching, you may have noticed I was lacking a bit of energy, and that was because I received my 5G shot. But now I'm feeling much better after a nice restful sleep, and I had some instant ramen, John. We talked about that last night. Had some instant ramen. Very, very nice. I had some sliced pork belly to put on top of that. Some spring onion, half-boiled egg. Very, very nice as well. Delicious. My life's changed.
Yeah, you can see why we can live in this caster's budget. We're satisfied with the instant noodles. That's all we need here, guys. We're happy people with just our cup noodles. Great stuff.
Absolutely. All right, Execration.
Nada's in chat, and he's just constantly pinging me. I'm sorry. Nada, stop it. I can't focus, Nada. Sheesh, keep it in the DMs.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. SF, the last pick for Execration. So the Bob SF coming back out. Remind me, John, I think the last time we saw Bob SF, it wasn't impressive, I think is the word I was looking for. But I might be wrong. I believe the first 20 minutes or so was quite a struggle for the SF last time around. Can't remember the draft he was against. Maybe he was just out-drafted. Overall, though, I guess it suits the draft very well for Execration. Unless it's not a Bob SF we're looking at. But I imagine it must be. Team SMG, they'll get the Lina. Hold on, maybe it's not, though. It could be the safe lane SF, off lane Lycan here for Execration.
No, they're not going that wild. It's the Bob SF. Right. We'll see. This is a classic mid matchup, right? Lina SF, not something you see too often. We talked about itemization in SF, the right-click build, or say the Blink Ewells, itemizing towards Arcane Blink, hitting your level 25 timing. which is still pretty big for the SF. The magic build can kind of scale, but I think last time around it was a physical build. I'm trying to think. I think we saw Dragonlance SNY or something like a Crystallis real quick. No. Desolator. I think it was a Desolator build on Bob last time around. So they were laying in onto this minus armor strat. They might have had Avenge on hander for Execration as well. We'll have to see. It's still very open-ended as to what you can do with a hero. Really good team fight. Can kind of play fast with Lycan. Again, using that early damage to just start pushing, start playing quick with Lycan can kind of lead you to take these objectives fast. For SMG's part, a much more standard draft. Lina mid for Moon. Also kind of has ways of itemizing early, whether you go for Yules or you go for Kaya, you go for a right-click build down the line. Lots of openings there for Lina to kind of scale on. Keen to see what Raging Potato does on that Void Spirit. We've seen him play off-lane Spirit Breaker recently. Void Spirit, I don't think we've seen him play yet, but kind of plays in the same style. We have seen the Void Spirit kind of take that off-lane or pause 4 roll a couple of times, and it can still be impactful, so we'll have to see how much more Raging gets here. And I think for the Void Spirit off, it ties into the Ags timing, same as mid. You still kind of want to build into the Ags, get Resonant Pulse charges into silences, and you can kind of control for the team.
Okay, fair enough. So, John, final question, hard question. Better draft, in your opinion, game number 1, Execration Team SMG?
I'm leaning towards SMG, simply because, sure, they're playing against Lycan, but I think they've got enough tools to kind of hold off the army. They've got this Bloodseeker who can just rupture up the Lycan if it's an issue. They've got easier heroes to scale with. Whereas for Execration, it takes a little bit of fidgeting around to kind of work out the SF, get his farm going, figure out how you want to itemize on Bob with a hero. If Execration do manage to execute this fast draft, start pushing tier 1s, transition to tier 2s, earlier than SMG, which is something we've seen teams fall flat on, right? Like they take tier 1s, they shut down the map a bit, but they never move on to more objectives. I think if Execration can kind of avoid that trap and really work the map to their favor, it can shape up. But they can't afford to rest, right? Like after you take these tier 1s, you've got to start thinking about the tier 2s and then think about the high ground, maybe Roshan before the high ground, and really ensure that you keep that snowball going for yourself.
I've got a bit of a problem, John. I'm not going to lie. I forgot my window behind me open. So I'm going to wake up the whole neighborhood if I don't close it. But I'm afraid there's going to be a first blood between these two. So, what do you reckon? Is there going to be a first blood or not? Can I walk away from the PC for 10 seconds, John?
Looks like SMG Execration's not clumping up, so maybe you could. Got the Wolves to scout around.
All right, I'm going to predict if there's one, it'll be at top lane. Hold it there. One moment, John. You can talk. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Keen to see whether or not our Lycan is going to do Lycan things with the early Wolves. We saw that before. Wolves up to the fountain, sniping couriers. Not quite shaped up for there on Tino, but he's moving in to deny the bottom ruin. Clumping around KP, Blood Right. Nothing else happening. You just take a bounty. Ruin is not denied. Just scout it out. Yeah.
Thank you for
You're
that,
back,
Jonathan.
Mike. You didn't miss anything. It's all good.
Alright, so what's going on? We'll go to the top lane. KP going to be there on that Bloodseeker. So they are actually switching up the lanes a little bit here for SMG. Putting the off lane in the safe lane and the other way around, of course. It's like Roger is still going to be along with KP at that top lane. So they will still throw the +5 Pango there. Of course, they are going to be against BDZ and Raging Potato. So it does seem like they didn't want to have mid one's Monkey King against the Raging Void Spirit and the BDZ Rubik.
Yeah, I think this lane is pretty strong for KP as well. Like Raging Potato early on, until Dissimulate's up, Blood Right's going to be highly effective. And even if you have Dissimulate up, the cooldown's a bit longer than Blood Right. So there's more uptime, more openings for KP to try to get his harassment off, and it's easier for him to clear out the creep wave. BDZ on the Rubik, he knows he can't do too much. He's got the Fade Vault level 1. It's going to take some more levels for him to apply pressure in lane, so he's just going for the pull. Raji's punching quite well. That is something we've seen from Pangoliers. They do tons of damage with Shield Crash, and you can't really trade once that spell's up.
Oh, it's a lot of damage. BDZ, I don't think he's going to be able to peacefully take this this creep wave. Rogi, every time he's got the Shield Crash up, will keep moving forward, but it looks like he will just focus on trying to get that deny on the range creep. And BDZ will be able to get it anyway. Of course, we'll go to the bot lane as well, because right now there is a bit of a dive going on here from Arfu and mid one. It is going to be Arfu and mid one against Tino and RR, and right now mid one is really going for some very heavy harassment. The tier 1 tower is aggroed. He will use the mischief to try and avoid, but he's taking a lot of damage here mid one. I'm not sure if this is a good idea because he's been blocked in now. He'll go for the boundless though, and Arfu will be able to get the first blood mid one. He cannot get out, however. RR still gets the kill, but it looks like RR should die to Arfu, and Arfu on the Earthshaker is going to be able to get a double kill. And that's not something we get to see very often. Just such a long dive into that tier 1, but mid one he's feeling a little bit spicy.
Yeah, I like the shake-up there for SMG. They're just playing really aggressive with the double stuns they've got in this duo. And Fissure's pretty long range, can get good blocks out as well. The Monkey King with the Boundless is also pretty long range. So you've got great damage output here. The sustain from Execration with Lycan and an Omni Knight does take time to go in line, especially Lycan. You know, Feral Impulse level 1's not particularly amazing. Level 2, level 3 is when that really kicks in. And that's something mid one is abusing. So he's looking to be really aggressive on Monkey King, and we've seen mid one do this before. You know, he's not the kind of person to just sit back and farm this hero. He can just go for the Echo Saber, Desolator we've seen him do once, and just play aggressive from there. So it looks like SMG does want to keep up the pace with Execration's fast draft with the Lycan and just kind of fight back against it.
Alpha already rotating into the mid lane. Of course, the mid lane does have Moon on the Lina against Bob on that SF. Very kind of even matchup between the two right now, and of course, both these mid heroes can go ahead and clear side camps very easily. So you do expect, even if one was struggling a little bit, that they'd have the catch-up potential. Top lane, BDZ is going to end up dropping KP. He's able to secure the kill on the Bloodseeker. A sort of rotation out from him. Now Raging's going to be left kind of alone as KP can just really get to work now. I don't think Raging can really try and man fight, but he's going to try and get a bit of harassment out the way with the Bloodseeker. Mid lane, Bob was dropping quite low on the SF. Arfu did make that rotation into the mid lane, but it doesn't amount to a kill. And he'll get his bottle filled up anyway, thanks to BDZ. But now Rogi's here on the Pango. Reveal himself to BDZ and Bob. Goes ahead to block the small cam. In fact, they're going to try and go after Bob now. He just regened up. He's already going to lose half his HP, but Rogi almost ends up dropping on the Pango. They even placed another sentry ward just to make sure that Bob would not have the small cam. And they are making it a very tough time for this Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, just trying to slow down that initial spike that the SF can hit. I think they're trying to slow down the level 7, level 8 spike because you don't tend to see early Requiem, but you do want to stop that flash farm that SFs do excel in. Love what Afu is doing. We see him do this constantly on his Shaker. Just head mid, try to look for the blocks on ramps. There are good wards to watch at though. He is under vision. So Bob is pretty protected, and it looks like Execration were sort of ready for it from that really early ward he dropped.
There's a bit of an interesting scan out there from KP, I think, at the top lane. Maybe just trying to check if BDZ was around Raging, because he wasn't showing on the Rubik. BDZ going to go for the pull, but there's only one large creep there, so eventually the creep wave's still going to pull back the way of KP. It's like he's not going to be able to grab the aggro of the wave, though. He would have loved to pull that wave behind the tier 1 tower, but that won't work out in his favor this time around. Still will be able to secure some decent farm, though. Really not struggling too much on the Bloodseeker. I can say the same for mid 1 on the Monkey King. He's having a really nice time right now just farming down that bot lane. I mean, Tino, he is struggling quite a bit. Like 16 and 3 in comparison to the 34 and 10 of mid 1. It's just a complete whitewash down at this bot lane.
Yeah, it's just melee matchups against Monkey King. Don't tend to trade all too well. They have kind of left these cores alone, even while it's solo. You pointed it out. They're still getting their CS. Every lane's being won out. Raging, lifts there. Should be protected, but once you hit this level 6 spike on KP, Rupture is going to be a pretty big threat for Raging Potato. His level 6 is further out, so you have more windows for aggression there for KP once he gets some of that EXP up.
Looks like Bob has already kind of given up on that mid lane. Just going again to the jungle, but Moon's now going to start pressuring with this 5-minute siege creep. Fu going in deep, trying to suss out where Bob's gone, and now we'll go for the Fissure into the Light Strike array, but RR's going to be around still. The Laguna was committed, but Bob, he should ultimately be alright, but no, never mind. Dragon Slave will connect Moon. He needs a way out, but the body blocks are out from RR, and that is going to be enough for Execration to at least be able to trade the mid lane. You'd still have to argue it's favorable for the side of SMG. And, both teams going to go ahead and tip each other.
It's still a little bit better for Lena. And they've been constantly on this SF. We've seen the sentries being committed for the small camps. We've seen our Pangolier just willing to throw his body forward to block camps. Raji's been doing a great job in slowing down some of the stacks that Execration are looking to build up. And as long as you're kind of choking out this team, like we already see Tino in the jungle as well. His Dominator's on its way out. So you are about to hit that spike with level 6 also shaping up here for the Lycan. But it is a lot slower, going 2 to 4 with a 1k lead on SMG side. It does feel like Execration might need to start eyeing some towers with a dominated creep and with a shapeshift coming through. You're going to need to start choking out the map more because SMG's gotten way too much from the laning phase.
Yeah, that they have. More pressure being applied by Moon, and this is something you can very easily do on the mid laner, is just keep hitting that tier 1 tower. Bob, all he can do is come in and raise the creep wave, but SMG are always grouped up as 3 to really try and make sure Bob never feels safe on this Shadow Fiend. That he certainly does, and as Arfu, he's looking for a Fisher, does land it into the Light Strike array. Will they have the damage output? They just may, as Bob, he is dropping so low, and Rogi eventually will be able to secure. There's now Tino, will try to come in after Arfu. Can he get this kill? The disarms are there. Arfu gonna get stunned up. Or rather, Tino's going to get stunned up. Arfu's still running. The Helm of the Dominator is there to chase him down. And eventually, with the creeps out, they will be able to get the kill. And Tino does get out to safety.
They managed to also punish mid one for diving a bit deep in the bot lane. So overall, they're finding their kills. Even Raji does end up falling a little.
Yeah, raging. He made the rotation over to clean up Raji, but it will cost him his own life. So again, I just can't say that's very worthwhile for the side of Execration. Definitely pretty worthwhile for SMG though.
Yeah, they're feeling good. I think losing their Monkey King earlier on with a bit of a dive in was maybe less than ideal, but you're getting space out. The mid tier one's not going to stand for so long. Moon's got the damage. Stun, BTC?
BTC's going to be fine. Bob, he's going to make the rotation, and you know all they want is that mid tier 1 tower anyway, and they're going to be able to get it. Sort of secure there from Arfu. It's going to open up the map quite a lot here for SMG now. And you know, with their draft of having this Monkey King and the Shaker and the Lena, just everything together, they do want to roam through that Radiant jungle and just make sure that no farm can be had. However, mid lane Raging, he's going to get jumped with Arfu. He'll need to back off now as Raging will turn back around, but the Dragon Slave is going to be enough damage once again. And they will end up killing Arfu, but you gave an off-lane kill to Moon, and I don't think he's upset about that.
No, he's very pleased. Mid-tier 1 gone, they find a kill. They're creating pretty good space out. Not for mid 1, but surprisingly for KP. He's the one left alone up top. He's the one shoving in the top lane. Bot lane had a bit of resistance coming through. So they're building up in this Bloodseeker's timing. He is number 3 in net worth. The Atos not too far off. So they're going to have that control for the Blood Right. They're going to have control to hold down the Void Spirit a lot easier and just play along with that combination. A lot of burst coming out for SMG shortly, and they've got the Laguna ready. All they really lack right now are support levels. Raji and Afu are a bit behind, although Afu is going to have the slam up in a bit. The Rolling Thunder a bit further off for Raji, so maybe have to wait for that spell to get more control.
Oh, nice Rupture. Great Rupture out from KP. Mid-Astral Step, and he'll go for another, but they've got the vision out of mid 1. He'll take the kill with the Boundless Strikers Bob now. And you can try your best to rush off, but SMG should... No, they're not going to dive to tier 2. So in the end, Bob does get himself out the pig stick. It's another nice kill though on the offlane Void Spirit, and or a 1k net worth lead to SMG. And they are definitely going to take over this Radiant jungle now, and it's hard for me to imagine that Execration is going to be able to successfully fight back and allow Tino to have that farm he needs to be able to finish off that Helm of the Overlord at a decent timing.
He's not doing too bad in farm though. He's just about, what, 50 gold behind mid 1, 100 gold behind Moon. So the Lycan is starting to use that space really well. Vlad's almost up, and then just a recipe of the Helm afterwards. And that's when you can really start applying pressure with the Ancient Creep. It's just that SMG is still finding objectives, right? They take the bot tier 1, they took mid. They are in a position where they can force fights. Rolling Thunder is up on Raji. The Atos is almost done on KP. Still waiting for the staff and then the recipe afterwards. But once you've got those tools, it becomes a lot easier to keep hammering these kills. Now, Execration's doing the right thing. They're playing on the opposite side of the map, trying to build up this farm on Bob. He's trying to rush the Dragonlance on the SF. So it's Dragonlance BKB. He wants to be able to man fight, stand in front without worrying about the control. Still a bit slow going considering the space Bob has got.
Well, KP ends up killing off Raging Potato down at the bot lane, and now SMG, they want to try and respond here to Execration. Mid one, going to spot out Bob, and that's the target they'd love to go after, but Requiem is going to be there, the Boundless. It did not connect fast enough, so Afu, he's going to die. Rogi will try to go in after BDZ. They should at least be able to pick off the Rubik, though Guardian Angel is going to be expected at an RR, and Tino are going to start moving in. BDZ finally drops mid one, forced to pop the Wukong's command, and Tino, he's going to have to back, but he gets them so darn low in HP, and will try to chase them down with the units. But Moon, he's very well aware that they are chasing him, though Wolves are doing a lot of damage, Moon! Oh no, Moon, he gets crit down by the Wolves! Mid one, still going to chase down Bob. Looks like Bob should be able to survive. Oh, Moon, he dies to the crit of the Wolves. That is maybe underestimating how much damage they deal. Thinking the Helm of the Dominator creep was down, so it was the least of his worries now. But they can still do a lot of damage, especially if they continuously land the crit.
Yeah, I think he figured running wouldn't work, so he tried to go see if he could kill off the Wolves before he died. Although, Tino...
They got Tino. He's just going to TP. Balance Strike was already committed, and KP doesn't have the Rod of Atos up yet to really be able to hold them down during that TP. And suddenly Tino is top of the net worth board, and he's just about 100 or 200 gold away from having the Helm of the Overlord up. So big problems here for SMG once that's up, I think. We'll see how they handle it. BDZ. Try and swash away, and we'll be successful. Bob. Oh, he gets knocked out of the Roshan pit. Mid one. Yeah, Roshan's even bashing Rogi now. Bob's going to be alright. Heavenly Grace is there. The Fisher does not block him in either. KP's going to try and rush forward. Razor's flying out, however, and Bob, he is still alive. Aether Remnant will make sure they can't chase him down. Afu, he will commit the Echo just to make sure they get the kill. But it does cost him his life, Tino. He's got the Helm of the Overlord, and he's more than happy to chase people down now. Mid one went quite deep, but he's going to be put on the cliff. He'll jump back down. Nice boundless strike onto RR and BDZ, but he still can't find a killers now. They'll turn around on the Monkey King, and it looks like they just may have him. And they do. Bob to give the tip over to mid one. And mid one certainly went very deep for those kill attempts.
There's a big issue of damage here. When mid one jumps in, as long as Fade Bolt and Howl are up, the damage reduction on the Monkey King's pretty big. The damage output's actually not there. He kind of just tickles. They've got to be careful about that, KP.
Yeah, he's been caught out. Astral Step is back up. Raging, can he finish off the kill? Apparently he can. KP. He commits the rupture, but ultimately Raging's going to be just fine. Mid lane. Well, they've got Tino, but the wolf form is going to be there, so he can just run his way out. And we've got a bit of a race going on here. Tino and Rogi. Fast and the Furious. But in the end, Tino, he's got family, John. And family always wins. Raging. He's going to jump himself out, but mid one is going to chase him down. Still, the Helm of the Overlord is going to come out, and the Aether Remnant does land through the tree line. Tino, he's still willing to try and fight in this wolf form as mid one. Has he gone too far again? The Wolves are going to chase him down. Boundless Strike is out. They've got Raging, but he's not down, and in fact, mid one, he's the one to die. And now they'll go after Rogi as well. Get the Pango down if you can. He'll try to run. He's not that fast, though, but KB, he's going to come in onto Raging. It just won't be enough. Or will it? KP now the one that needs to get out, but a nice Fisher there. BDZ, he'll block the way. Guardian Angel's out, and they even got Rogi. Just beautiful play from Execration, John. Fantastic play.
Bob?
Oh,
Yeah,
never mind. Bob's gone down.
Dual rotation out for Moon and off. They kept Bob. They get a good kill, but it's costing them a ton. And it boils down to the same issue. When we see mid one jump in, without a source of spell immunity or a way of dispelling off his debuffs, Howl comes out, Fade Bolt comes out, and then he does 0 damage. He just doesn't do damage. It's just not there. And they kind of overestimate how much they can do on SMG's part when they commit. The side of Execration just managed to bait them in very well. Of course, the sustain coming out from RR helps a ton. And BDZ, it's the perfect matchup, right? Rubik versus Shaker. You just steal Fissure, and then you're very happy in this game. He's had a lot of good blocks now on his own end. SMG's just having a hard time playing against that. Roshan starting now from Execration. Doesn't take too long with a DD up on Tino. He even has the drums up, which we don't see too often on the Lycan, even with the Zoomate. And he just rushed AC.
They're coming in from the back, rolling thunder. No, it's too late. Oh, and Rochi gets stuck. Look at that. Bit of a burnout moment there for Rochi. Swashbuckle his way out, but this could be a disaster as there's the wolf form out, and Rogi's just going to get eaten out by Tino. But oh, wait a minute, Fissure is there. A big Fissure out. Now the Powerless Strike, but it's not enough. Fu, where's the follow-up? Laguna Blade, they finally get Tino down. But Bob's going to drop. The Aegis at least is now mid-one, going to jump in. BDZ is there. They're onto the Rubik, and it looks like they've got him. Bob, he'll try to get the razors out. Moon still moving in. Try and go after that SF as they get Rogi a secondary time. The SF, Bob, he's going to drop his SMG. They're successful in their fight. Mid one, may have found another. It's KP. He's going to drop. RR, going to try and run mid one. Still chasing him down with the Jingu Mastery. Heavenly Grace, such a balanced ability here, keeping RR alive, but they've got Raging Potato and they will take him down. So in the end, you'd have to claim that a victory for SMG in that big team fight. And well, the Roshan went the way of Execration, but the Aegis, it disappeared so early on, it doesn't really even matter.
Yeah, it's a great initiation from Afu, just getting the slam off in the middle, holding back the side of Execration in that ramp. They just kind of forced the fight up on Execration's end. SMG managing to get the high ground, basically, and have the advantage. Should be a bit more cautious. They are strong on Execration's end, but SMG aren't lagging too far behind. Execration's lead has only been within 1, maybe 2k peak, and that's really not enough for a quantifiable item lead overall. The side of SMG still has a ton of room to grow. I think once you have this BKB on mid one, those issues with damage disappear because you can just dispel the debuffs off. You can run up, stand your ground in the middle, not worry about too much. Execration, though, knowing some spells are down, are smoked up.
They do have Fishes there onto the Rubik, and then, well, they've got a nice easy kill onto Moon. Galena just gets blown up as Rogi, what are you doing, sir? Yours is out. Rogi apparently didn't get the memo. Does end up dropping there on the Pango.
There is nothing for you anyway.
Yeah, good set of kills coming out from Execration, slowing down Galena furthermore. It's funny because Moon is right now the #2 net worth hero, so he's actually out farming mid one. A lot of their early momentum is coming out from the first leading of forwards. Hello?
Oh, Bob, he was playing so safe, and then the one moment he wants to go high ground, he'll pay for it immediately. It's SMG. They're at the perfect timing. BDZ throws a Fissure out, but it won't amount to much. In fact, Arfu's still waiting to reinitiate. RR does get spotted, and that's how you want your Fissure. Lock him right in. He'll find a gap, but it won't be enough, I don't think, as the Heavenly Grace and Guardian Angel are both there, but the Echo. Arfu's in, raging now. He's been caught out as well, or has he? He'll try to turn around for the Earthshaker, and Arfu, he's still going to survive raging. He'll keep going, but he's been stunned up again. No Astral Steps left, and he will die. On to BDZ. They'll get another. Very nice plays from SMG.
They're getting the big kills. They are giving some room out for Tino to get the split push going, so he takes the bot tier 1. Bot tier 2 gone as well. A lot of laning space created by the Lycan. They've got a nice sneaky spot. They can access the triangle area a little bit easier. But SMG looking to turn around with a tier 2 push. Respawns aren't too far off. The tower just melts super fast with the damage output on Moon. They are actually using Blood Rage on Moon. So remember how we tier craft with Bloodseeker, going for more of a buffing sort of orientation with the Blood Rage, using it on his allies. It's working quite nicely now, with Moon having tons of attack speed, tons of spell damage coming through. And that is one way SMG is also kind of mitigating all the minus damage on the side of Execration. Without the BKBs up yet, or at least without the BKB up on... No, they've got it up, so they don't even need to worry about that. Still, Execration... it feels like they've kind of taken a step back in terms of farm, especially Bob. He's taking the back seat. His BKB is flying out as well. Dragonlance is there, and he's going into the Crystallis, into the Daedalus. So it's the same sort of physical SF build we've seen from Bob a couple of times now. He does need more farm to really hit his stride. I think you really do want at least the Crystallis up on top of the BKB to start hitting like a truck with your physical damage, and that's still a ways off So let's see if they can start opening up the farm distribution a bit more. For Raging, his Ags is still 2 parts away, and the build-up has been slow. He's been frontlining for his team. He needs that silence to really get control for his team there. He's their best control.
He's been scouted out. Fisher's there to hold him down, and they've got him. Nice pickup from SMG. Tino, he's also been caught out. In fact, he's getting body blocked by some wolves right now. He'll pop the wolf form, but it won't matter. He is just gone. SMG finding 2 massive pickoffs. And Execration, after such a great start, just starting to fall behind here against SMG, it feels like. That Helm of the Overlord timing, it might be starting to wear a little bit thin. It's SMG now mid lane, another nice Fisher onto BDZ, and they'll get the Rubik down. Raging, he's going to try and escape. It might just make it, Moon. He was on target, but he was just a little bit too late.
Yeah, it's falling apart just a bit for Execration. I think the most they're achieving right now is getting space out for Bob. So while you are sacrificing Tino, you are shifting your farm priority almost towards the SF to an extent. They are trying to get this AC up and running on Tino though, so that is sort of stalled out, but it's within 200 gold. So not too far off despite that. The AC is going to amp up the damage of Bob as well with a minus armor aura, stacking on top of his presence for the Dark Lord and the Howl. So the physical damage output is still good. They will have to watch some item timings on SMG. The Nullifier coming out for mid 1 is one way to handle the Guardian's Angel. And that has been stopping mid 1 from finding those big kills. We've seen that Offwoo's had to commit slam on basically 1 here with GA on, just because they have no other damage source. Once mid 1 can kind of handle it, you're fine. Although, it's a bit tricky to catch BDZ out when he does manage to steal the tree dance. Can kind of role play there as well and scout around just fine.
It actually looks pretty good, like all things being considered, right? Like these spells being stolen by Rubik. It looks funny because he's on top of a tree, but it looks kind of natural at the same time. Even when he jumps off, like with the Primal Spring, he actually does a full like 360 kind of spin. It's quite nice. In fact, Roger goes down to the Pango. Raging Potato secures that kill. In SMG, it looks like they're going to wait around, see if they can catch out Raging. Zafu, he has the Echo up. Creep wave on the way, but BDZ might be able to get some vision very soon, and now it does, but the Fisher's already there, but Lift is out onto Arfu. But it won't matter, as now Echo's committed. They've got the Rubik, but BDZ takes the Fisher. It just won't matter. So it will still be a secondary fall here for the side of Execration. And they're on to the tier 2 bot tower.
And that's 2 tier 2s down. We talked about some teams not being able to play around this early timing. Execration, they did take 1 tier 2, but they haven't been able to move on. Like, there's still 2 tier 2 standing from SMG. They get to start the high ground first. Look how much damage Moon's doing. His right click's just so painful.
Oh, absolutely. Arfu doing a fantastic job on this Earth check in this game. Line Strike Array is going to land there on Bob. He'll back off. Tino going to move in from the side with the wolf form mid 1. Going to immediately back off, and again with Arfu around, it's going to be rather hard to chase them down. He's been really good at getting these nice fishes off into the follow-up. And even with the wolf form, you just can't really catch up to SMG.
Yeah, they're doing a good job just holding them back, and they're forcing Execration to respond to SMG's aggression. Execration aren't the ones on the offensive. They're not the ones going out hunting. They're not the ones dictating the fights, and they haven't for quite a while. Since that Roshan, I think they haven't really started the fight on their own terms. So that's something they need to get done soon, although, nah, can't catch mid 1. He does have the BKB ready to go. That Nullifier we were talking about, 500 gold off. So Guardian Angel, it's not going to be an issue for that much longer here on SMGs, and they're going to have a way to counteract that physical immunity that Execration's kind of stalling this game out with. And Execration, for their part, I mean, they've got the Chrysalis up on Bob. They need to make something happen.
Oh, Raging. In a pretty rough position here. He's going to keep trying to go after Roger, but Roger's going to be able to survive, I think, as Raging is still trying to get out. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. It does connect onto 2, but there's your Heavenly Grace out on Bob. He just does so much damage on this SF, as long with Tino. on the Lycan as now RR is still being chased down mid one. He's going to jump right in. Fisher's there. The follow-up stun as well, but the Requiem is going to be committed. It'll be enough to force back Arfu. Still mid one. He's able to get the job done, and KB is able to rush BDZ as now they'll go on to Bob. They'll find the SF, and Lightstrike Ray is going to be there to lock him down. Tino, he'll try to chase down Moon, but there's your Echo Slam out. It finds Tino, and well, there's no escape here as Arfu. He is just all over him. I'll tell you, John, this Earthshaker play from Arfu has just been really fantastic this game.
Oh yeah, he's been on point. All his positioning, he manages to hold back. He knows where to blink up to. He always gets to follow through stunts. I think we've always seen two-man fissures. As long as there are two heroes around, he always lands it. And it's just a lot of control. Raging.
Yep, setting up again. Raging, he's a bit too far forward and will get blown up. So back to the mid-racks, SMG. Just a small distraction in their way, but they'll get it done. Up toward the top lane, tier 2 tower is still standing, so they'll have to go and sort that out before they can go for the final lane of barracks. But you might just get a tier 2 and go back for the Roshan, and it is, as it is now, available, and it looks like they're just going to go straight for the Rosh anyway.
Shouldn't take too long to take out. Damage output getting from mid one and Moon is pretty damn high at this point. Execration, I think they're being a bit too forward with Raging Potato. Like, he is a very slippery hero, but they've got enough control in SMG to punish him for overstepping. He has to ensure that when he jumps in, his team is within range. Right? Like, they need to be able to follow up immediately on that Resonant Pulse Silence to really start finding some kills. Roshan gonna be given for free. Can't really run up there in time. And that is the shard going out to Raji. So he does have that roll up now. Easier to redirect the Rolling Thunder. A bit harder to kill him off. Execration got to hold on to the high ground defense. They're gonna have to give that tier 2 away. They do have some decent tools for high ground. I guess if you could get a good Requiem off from Bob, you can maybe make something happen. Issue is, he can't really just walk up there. He doesn't have a blink as well, or he yields to set up on one target, so they can't really just go for a burst play.
Mid lane, Bob. He's able to get the BKB off and back out. Raji, he'll be forced back. In fact, he cut down the tree of mid one. It won't matter though. Mid one's gonna be okay. Gleipnir there on Tino, but he'll be just fine. You gotta be careful with that Rolling Thunder as you do break down trees. In the end, nobody pays for it as they'll go in for more now. Resonant Pulse is out. Mid one, he's gonna be alright as he'll turn around, but you've got the Lena there. Fisher out to try and block the way. Raging, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, still trying to chase down KB. He does get the kill. Meanwhile, Bob does kill off Raji. Mid one, still trying to find Raging. Will eventually be able to get the kill, but now Execration might continue to force this fight, as it's a 4v3 scenario. Moon, he'll move in. Another nice Fisher out, Bob. He's got no BKB, but they've got the Heavenly Grace and Moon. He's the one surrounded and in trouble. He might drop and does. Mid one, he's jumped in by himself, but the Guardian Angel protecting everyone up. He's going to try and man fight this one out, but he's doing no damage. Or maybe he is. He'll lose the Aegis. Still surrounded by wolves. He's just got nowhere to go right now. He'll be freed, but only into the loving arms of BDZ. Tino now will try and chase down Arfu, but he'll be able to blink and TP away and might just make it in time. But Execration, they successfully defend that top lane of barracks.
They play that really well. I think for SMG, they've been pretty preemptive with Nullifier. We've seen anyone willing to use it early on, although.
That's Raji. Gonna go for the roll up. Does have the Rolling Thunder. Can he find himself out? Yeah, looks like he actually can. Thought Tino might be able to get a quick swipe in, but doesn't end up getting it. KB also going to be spotted out. Raging. Might cop the blood right here. KB, he's going to BKB a man fight this, and Raging, he's been ruptured up. Yeah, he's gone. Meanwhile, mid lane, Arfu. He commits a big Echo Slam and ends up finding Bob. RR is going to try and run, but KP's got so much attack and movement speed, he's going to find a secondary kill.
Drink your blood.
All right. Execration, you know, they had one good high ground defense. They tried to turn it around, use that onto the tier 2 mid to get themselves more space and maybe open up the next Rosh axis a little bit easier, take the outpost up top afterwards, but they get punished. They split up once more. Raging Potato goes a bit too far forward. Without that Void Spirit, without that silence up in these bigger fights, you don't really have the best AoE control. Like, it just boils down to Rubik lift, and that's it. It's not amazing. So you really need Raging Potato to be a little bit safer. Top racks now with no respawns, no buybacks, should just go, and that's going to be mega creeps Execration will have to play against. I think the one thing for SMG is, as long as they hold on to the Nullifier and use it when they see Guardian Angel, you're not going to have issues. That's the one small thing that happened there for SMG. Mid one was very preemptive with the Nullifier use.
Oh, onto the line, Tino gonna pop his BKB and try to man fight mid one. Rupture is there to make sure he goes nowhere, as now the Rolling Thunder in the back lines. This Omni, he just can't get any spells off. Meanwhile, mid one still man fighting and does get it done, as Bob now will go after Moon. So many fights across this team fight, but it won't matter, as SMG continues to come out on top. Bob is the only man left. Raging, he's gonna respawn up in 2 seconds, but it's still a very hard defense to ask for. Mid one, balance is there. One hit onto the Monkey King as Raging is going to jump in, and they will make him drop quite low. Mid one, he might just drop and does, but immediately will buy back, as now Bob's going to be in a spot of danger. And the Ancient is under siege. Moon, he'll get the job done. SF to go, mid one immediately out with the dip onto Bob. And Raging Potato, he's going to try and find Rogi. Aether Remnant is on target, but he has been caught out by the Boundless Strike, and Moon, he'll get a double kill, and onto the Ancient they go. This will be it. BDZ, he will try to continue defending, but it looks like this game is well and truly over as mid one. They are just waiting for the call. Look at this. The ultimate BM moves here for SMG. Just bananas for mid one. They won't finish the game. This reminds me of my pub games, John.
Oh, yes. And that is the classic Execration pub. They will eventually melt it. Trying to be sneaky, BDZ did steal the Wukong's, but it's not enough. And there you go. No GG until the end. SMG just playing with their food at the end there. Execration, they had an early start, and they were building up really well enough. I think the lanes were still going SMG's way, though. Key thing was, they took tier 1s, although slightly later than SMG actually did. And that mid tier 1 and bot tier 1 were a bit quicker on SMG's side. But they took tier 1s. They didn't manage to transition to tier 2s. And I think the top tier 2 is key there when you're on Radiant. You need to take the top tier 2, secure the outpost, go into Roshan. Like, that's the movement Execration had to do. They didn't really get that done. They got the bottom tier 2 from split push from Tino. At that point, they sort of missed their timings. I think SMG just played it really well. The lane swap with mid 1 and KP just worked out fantastically, and it just snowballed from there.
All right, thank you for that, John. We are going to head into game number 2 between Execration and SMG. There'll be a 10-minute break, but right after the break, we'll be back with game number 2. We'll see you there.